This is the Simpit Live. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and today we are here once again for Sim Racing Systems and the Simpit North American Mazda Mx5 Cup Series running on Assetto Corsa. We are looking at 20 minutes of racing at Daytona Super Speedway, the road course configuration that you all know from the Daytona 24. Very important, iconic race. One of my favorite tracks, and it's a pretty nice version of the track, so we'll have to see how the racing plays out today. And again, if you've never done this before, this is my first time running a series on Assetto Corsa with Sim Racing System, and I have to admit it's been a great season, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been very easy for me as an admin to be able to administer the races going on, and it hasn't taken a whole lot of time and energy. All the points have been collected, and we will be making an announcement tomorrow, probably after tomorrow night's race. We'll have tonight's race at 6, tomorrow night's race at 6 for the season points, your best finish of the two races, which means you don't even have to do both. Pick your race, or move on, or run both and take your best. But this will be the final week of the season, and we'll be making an announcement with the cars and tracks for next season. Today, is that a question, or is that questioning what you should get or me? I'm just give you an update on my equipment. I'm using an R-Seat RS1 Sim Racing chassis. I've got a Leo Bodner Model 53 wheelbase. I've got the Ricmotech Mod 31. It's a mod made for open source wheels or anything that you have just a universal hub on a center shaft. It'll work with that, and it incorporates some Thrustmaster innards as far as button layout, and then some upgraded paddle shifters. I'm using a TH8A shifter from Thrustmaster today, and I'm using my Ricmotech pedals with a hydraulic brake pedal. I'm going to say hello to everybody. During these live race streams, I don't get to talk to you guys nearly as much as like when I'm doing the regular or other kinds of live show where I can really talk to you guys and answer a bunch of questions. I will be tuned in on the race. I will be giving you narration, hopefully, that goes along with the race. We will have one opportunity to adjust our audio mix. So I'll run a qualifying session that you will all see, and then after that I should have one moment to just double check our audio. So we will do that. YT, I do both. So I will be doing a Mazda race, funny enough, before the end of the week in the Mazda in iRacing. So we're going to be doing both, and I'm looking to do some more R Factor 2 racing, and as well as that, some Race Pro. So I'm not shy about Sims. I love them all for their own reasons. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and let me check in with the time on the game real quick. It looks like we are in overtime. Let me just go back to the pits real quick and see what it says. Yeah, we're still finishing up practice here, but we're just letting people finish their final laps, and then we'll get underway with qualifying. So I do have just one more moment. I've done just a teeny bit of practice. I'm pretty good with the Mazda. I do know the layout of Daytona fairly well, and for this series, it's one that I'm truly just running mainly for fun. We'll see about next season. I'm thinking of kicking things up and taking it a little bit more seriously. It looks like we're fading out, and that means that we're going to get into qualifying. We're just resetting the track real quick. And qualifying is underway. So after qualifying again, I'll check in with you guys, and we'll see how... You see, I clicked my paddle shifter by old habit. Alright, so we'll just lay down a lap. I'm not too worried about where I start the race. Again, I'm here mainly for fun running in this series, and that's why I really encourage you to join us. I'll probably do a little less talking than I've done in previous race streams. We do practice, we do race. I gotta focus during the race and not make stupid mistakes. I don't think we'll be radio silence either, because that's not quite my style. But I do have to focus a little more and find that equilibrium point. Looks like I'm leaving a lot on the table there. I did about 15 laps of practice leading into the event. Better turn my audio down just a touch. This will keep me from shouting so badly. That's the bus stop of Daytona. That can get kind of hairy if you do it wrong. Draft should play a pretty big role here too. See a little bit of lag going on between me and him. You can see the car kind of seesawing. You got to be a little careful about how close you get when that going on. Last week, I swear I bumped a guy, and it was that kind of warping difference that did it. A little loose, lost a little speed there. Once again, the sun's in an entirely different spot. I think that's something for next year. I will figure out the time that we're racing and set my system up for that same time. I might request a time change because it seems that every week the sun's where you wouldn't want it to be. And if you've been watching me in previous races, you can see I've gone to the H pattern shifter. That's new. And it seems to be working out pretty well in both iRacing and Assetto Corsa so far. A lot of people have commented that the Mx5 is the kind of car that would have an H pattern, so drive it like a man kind of mentality is what was being thrown at me. Getting the timing there is so critical. At the moment that you get back on the gas, because it's leading onto such a huge straightaway. You know, that last corner off the infield onto the backstretch and then coming out of the bus stop. Two of the most important parts, and they lead onto two of the most boring parts. Unless you're around a lot of cars, then it gets real interesting on these straightaways with the drafting of the Mazda. Coming to the line for our first time lap. Almost leave it in third, but it's such a long corner, I'm afraid of not having the pole. But in second, it's easy to get loose there. Same thing on this corner. It's like you need to shift a second so early. Whoa, a little hot into that, but I did it. All right. We got a new braking mark. Ran a 2:15.9. That's a 1/10 of a second quicker than I ran on my last practice lap. .341 left. So I'm going to complete this lap, and then I'm just going to stand with that so that we can check the audio. See how the mix is between my yelling here and the game. I don't know where that car was going. He was warping all over the place. Excuse me. Right now we're in 8th with that first lap of a 2:15.9. It's going to be a 20-minute race. .214.4. Did not change my position though. Wow. You would think with that big of an increase in time, you would actually get a jump in position. That's okay. That's okay though. All right, let's check in with you guys real quick before this does go green. We have 2 minutes 23 seconds left in qualifying. Oh, Quasis, no, it was sort of just more of an accept the challenge, and I don't mind running the H pattern, and in the case of iRacing in particular, it can be a huge advantage. Not huge, it can be an advantage. So I'm really glad that I switched there, and since it was on my rig, I figured I'd give it a shot today. Steam King talks about UMP modifieds and linear coming to iRacing. I'm very excited about all of that. And it's easy to get your shifts right with an H shifter too. Civic, I agree. It fascinated me. It's like not just the timing, but the fact that it's holding down the gear makes it a lot easier to get the timing right than trying to time it with the click of a paddle shifter. Clutch in and it still grinds going in. Audio is perfect. Okay, good. I'm glad the audio is good. I am clutching on upshifts, and I am kind of spiking the gas coming back in. Shane Deal. Let's see what we can do about that. Send me an email, and maybe I can get you pointed in the right direction, or check some of their FAQ. My email is Shaun, SHAUN, @thesimpit.com, and I'd love to see you in here. So, and Victor, yes, and you can race. We're going to be doing another series of this. So tomorrow night, we're going to be doing another race at 6 o'clock in this. Next week, we start up a new series, and tomorrow I'll make the announcement as far as what we're running, what car and track combos we're going to be running. It will be an Assetto Corsa, and then I pretty much always try to run one series at least in iRacing, and I usually am pretty public about where I am and what time of day I'm driving. So I do try to make it pretty easy so that we can all race together, in other words. That's one of my goals as well with doing this. But again, tomorrow we will have the announcement of next season's 6 races and what car. We're going to make a car change, something a little more exciting than the Mazda. I love racing the Mazda. The excitement comes from the door-to-door racing. We're moving to something that's a little more exciting in nature. Not a giant step up, but a big step up. Tomorrow is the same track. So for sim racing systems for the Simpit series, what we did was we ran Thursday and Friday nights, and it would either pick your better score. So if you ran both races, take your better score, and those would be your points for the season for that week. And we're going to do that continuing forward. Now, if you only ran one, it didn't matter. As long as you ran one, you got your points. So, you were late testing. What? Give me at Assetto Corsa weekend race, and I'm there. Yeah, I thought about the weekends. It's just sort of a different type of commitment, actually. Max Donnelly, no, I'm not. I don't know about linear. Somebody else I'm probably sure knows more than I do on that topic. The one, oh, you ran the night I went to the vet. I'm sorry. I try to stream or at least broadcast or do something with these races, and I will continue to do so. So I'm sorry you picked the one night that I wasn't there, and sorry about that. I only missed it by like 20 minutes, but we were only doing 20-minute races. By the time I got here, it was at least halfway over. And yeah, Spatial King, I'm aware of that as well. So we do have qualifying time is over. So we're waiting for the reset of the room. They'll grid us up. Let's take a look at those standings again real quick. See how things have played out. Drop back to 9th. Looking at our top qualifier, Cy Yip with a 2:12.723. That's a great lap. Hernan Filippini in second with a 2:12.784. George Vidal with a 2:12.863. So we have 3 drivers down in the 2:12s in qualifying. Third place, William Lima, Doug Hawley, Chow Nguyen in 6th, Mario Segaldelia, and Nick Barknet. And I am sorry to anybody who I butchered their names. I do apologize. I'm just an American with my flat accent. Just typing a little message to the gang here. And there's the cycle. We got a countdown, 3, 2, 1. Now they're going to grid us up. And I am going to say, not goodbye to you guys, but I am going to say I will no longer be able to stay with the chat. We can have a talk after the race and kind of analyze how things went. One thing I didn't test, and I'm a little nervous about because I have had some black flags in this series, is I am now going to put it in gear, and I have the clutch in. And I'm hoping that I can rev the engine without it moving. If it moves, it's going to give me a black flag, which is going to really stink. And to be honest with you, this is some testing I should have done before the race, not right now. But there's not a whole lot we can do that. The other option, I could leave it in neutral and slap it into first as I pop the clutch. I'm going to do that since I didn't test. It's not exactly how I'd recommend doing this, but... Alright, that worked out okay. I should have tested that, though, to know how that was going to work. It wouldn't have taken any energy just thinking about it in advance. So, mistake number 1 of the night. Let's focus. I almost put it in third right there. I got hit from... I tapped him, and then I got hit from behind. I had nowhere to go there. But we're just going to regroup and hope the damage isn't too significant. Seems like last week I got damage on the first lap in a very similar situation. Try to keep a really consistent, controlled race. Try to breathe. I like to really early apex that first part of that corner because you have so much room to work with. Far back, too far to pick up the draft of the guy ahead, so that's really unfortunate. Puts me at a pretty big disadvantage as far as where the lead group is getting from me right now. Alright, into the bus stop. Whoa! Late and hot. Late and hot all the way around. Gonna have to brake a little bit harder. We have 21 drivers in the race today. Left it in third that time. Whoa, a little too early there. All right, not a bad run through the infield section on lap 2. Looks like we made a little progress on 9th place up ahead. I can see 7th and 8th up ahead of him, running nose to tail. A lot easier to breathe at Daytona with so long a time on these straightaways. Much better. Look at the time we picked up there. For the record, those listening to the shifts, I am lifting. I'm using the clutch on up shifts. Not using the clutch, but I'm blipping the throttle on downshifts. All right, coming to the completion of the second lap. 15 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock right now. Running 10th of 20. We've had one driver drop out of the race. I could put it in 6th, but I didn't see a huge difference. It's so overdriven. Still not getting all the way down to that apex. Seems everybody's having the same problem. Could save a 10th there for sure with the proper line. Ran a 2:14.2. So a little quicker than qualifying even. Oh, I just noticed that I'm missing some shifts and I'm getting the little warning on the left. Nothing, no warning there. Right there, it's the downshifts. It's not happy with my downshifts. Apparently you can't just blip it here. I cannot switch to heel towing mid-race, that's for sure. So we're gonna have to hope that gearbox holds together, and you're gonna all have to excuse me for running like that. That was kind of a weird moment. We'll see 6th gear now, huh? Sorry. Oh. 12:19 left. That lap was really a mess with a 2:16 with us going side by side like that. Ooh, a little loose there even in 3rd gear. Yep, these downshifts, that gearbox is not happy with me. Come on. It's a little too hot in. Almost put in third. Sorry, tuned out. That took total concentration. Not the best line. Made it work. Guys up ahead are getting racy. That works to our advantage. Can't shake the guy behind me. 9 minutes left on the clock. Ran a 2:15.6 last time by. That's the way you do it. Run your line. Still kind of up in the air on the 6th gear thing. You just hear it hit that lull, but I mean, I was literally maxed out in 5th. It was not going to go any faster. Miles per hour, 22. It's only holding at 122. Whoa. By the way, when I go into 6th, I do a double shift down to 4th. I don't go 6-5-4. I go 6-4-3. 2:14.377 last lap by. You can see how important that chicane, the bus stop, is to the overall lap time. Oh, really kind of blew that one. A lot of room to work with at Daytona, though, so if you just keep it together, you can usually stay out of trouble. But look at the, I don't know if you can see my mirror, but look at the time advantage that he picked up behind me. $7:10 left. 9th place out of 19 still running. Got 10th all over me. 7th and 8th up ahead by about a second and a half. I'm going to leave it in 5th and see if we break 122. That's how you find out. Again, getting back to doing enough testing. Didn't test the start of the race, and I didn't test it. And I did some laps, and I thought about it. I just didn't compare. 121, 122, 23, 24. So note to self, 6th gear is overdrive driven like I suspected. Despite these rough downshifts, looks like the gearbox is going to hold together. 5:42 left in the race. You can see we're gaining on 7th and 8th up ahead. I don't think I'm seeing, it's out of my peripheral over there. You can't see it, it's on the other screen. The indicator for gear damage. Right there, it just popped up. I notice it's not happening on every single shift, which means there might be a way to blip and not use the clutch. It's just a better timing than what I'm doing. I might be revving too hard back into the gear. I might need to just kind of treat it a little more like a street car and ease it into gear a little better. 4:44 left on the clock, 2:14.7 last time by. We seem to have cleared 10th place behind, and we're now running on these guys. Moments right there that I feel like I have just a little bit of aero damage, even though we're still have run a better lap than our qualifying, but I think that was purely the run out of the bus stop, which is good for, I mean, easily a half a second a lap difference if you have a good or bad lap. 3:58 left. I'm running low on gas. I heard the gear clunk that time, by the way. That was the first time I heard it. It's there every time. You guys are probably hearing it. I'm just thinking about other stuff. Oh, that was probably not very nice. What happened there? I hope that wasn't my fault. Was that Jesse? I know Jesse. He'll tell me if it was my fault. I know I was a little bit closing the door there on that right-hander, but I thought I was in the clear. I saw his car kind of sweep the other direction. Anyway, that puts us in 8th. .214.1 on the last lap, by the way. Keep in mind, we had a good draft off of those guys down the straightaway. 1:22 on the clock. Yeah, this is kind of a chess match. Not the best line there. He's going to be able to easily draft by me with this kind of a distance between us. Especially if I get loose off of that corner. I'm going to make sure he goes high. That'll at least guarantee if he gets around that I'll be able to get right back on his slipstream. 24 seconds on the clock. Running out of gas. Yeah, race over. I wasn't sure. Running on vapors. Ah, good finish. Don't know. It shows us an 8th. Looks like he might have just beat me at the line. Tried to give it a run at the end. I mean, it was pretty clear which line I was going on and which line he was going on. I didn't feel right swinging up and blocking. And if I had swung up early, I would have just left myself vulnerable to a second move where he would have easily come under me low. Might have been smarter to have blocked high as a beginning move and then come low and say, this is where I want to be. But regardless, running clean, getting a good finish it makes me happy. So I'm not going to complain about that one bit. Let me just say hello and goodbye to these guys, and then I'll switch over and talk to you guys before we bring this to a close. Great race. Just a couple of words here with, that was Chu Nguyen who I was racing with there at the end. And Cy Yip won the race by 7 seconds over George Vidal. Mario Segedilia was in third, about 4 seconds back of him. So congratulations to the top 3. Great race by everybody. I had a really fun time. Great way to close the season. Well, tomorrow's the actual close of the season. So, anyway, that is the end of that, and that was fun. So check in with you guys, and then we'll bring this to a close, because, again, on the race days, I don't want to get too far distracted. We'll have open conversation on nights that we're planning on doing just open conversation, which those days or nights are coming for sure. Anyway, chain link messes with your eyes. I'm just going back a little bit in the chat here. I'm actually going to go back. I'm not going to go back to the mid-race. It looks like there are some comments on shifting and rev limiters. I'm going to go back and read that for my own personal. You guys were all there reading it, so I'm going to kind of stick with you guys where we are now. Yeah, Civic, get the sidekick for Assetto Corsa. I was thinking that, you know, I'm not going to let this go any further. Let me open up another page real quick and get that on my list so I can't forget. There we go. Thank you very much for that recommendation. Spatial, thank you. That was a good fun race. I did have fun. I enjoyed that thoroughly. did a better job of breathing and concentrating tonight than I have been in the live stream. So that's actually a great racetrack for that, a good break-in track. And that's more about Sidekick. And anyway, I think that pretty much catches things up. I appreciate you guys coming out for the race. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we'll do race 2 of, this is the final week, week 6 in our sim racing system, Simpit North American Mazda MX5 Cup. And the reason we called it North American is because of the time slot we're using, and the tracks that we are running were all North American, and that was a little different than most of the other leagues that we're running on Sim Racing System. Next season, we're going a little more traditional, but tomorrow after the race, I will have an announcement of what car and tracks we're going to run for next season, and that will start up next week. So we'll do the same time slot. It'll be Thursday and Friday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific time, West Coast USA. And you know, I would heavily encourage you. I'm having a lot of fun doing the races. It's been, for the most part, very clean racing and good racing. It's been fun. So I hope you'll get involved with that. And we are running on Assetto Corsa, of course. Max Donnelly, I am using a Leo Bodner Model 53 with a Ricmotech Mod 31 adapter conversion for like OSW or direct drive wheels. I'm using Ricmotech pedals with a hydraulic pedal. Tonight I was using a Thrustmaster TH8A shifter, and I'm in a R-Seat RS1 sim rig chassis. So that was the gear for tonight. And actually, right now, we're pretty much down to my most preferred equipment that I have. So that's me throwing everything I've got at these guys. So anyway, tomorrow again, we will have another race at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow we will announce our season for next season in series, our list of tracks and car, and the car for next season in Sim Racing System. And that'll begin next week, Thursday and Friday nights. I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. Maybe you'll turn out tomorrow. As much as I love having you here in the stream, I'd love even more to see you out on the track. So if you can make it for that, do it. Where it's the Japanese car pack on Assetto Corsa. All the tracks are from Race Department. They're modded tracks for the game. All you're going to need is a Sim Racing System account, which is free, a Race Department account, which is free, and you could be up and running with us tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. So I hope you will join us on track. That would be my preference. If you can't join us on track, I'd love to have you on the stream as well. And same thing goes. I'll do the same race. It'll be the exact same format as what we saw today. And I'll go ahead and answer a few questions at the beginning of the stream, answer a few more during the intermission between qualifying and the race, and then finish just like we did tonight with a little bit of open discussion before I wrap things up. And I think now is exactly what I'm going to do, is wrap things up. So again, I hope you enjoyed this stream. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe to our channel. We are trying to grow the channel. The more we grow, the more content we can bring you. That is the way it works. So please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow night in race number 2 of our final. This will be our finale in the Sim Racing System Simpit North American Mazda MX5 Cup Series. Yes, I've learned to say that whole sentence in one line. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole. I'll see you on the track.